This year's Summer Gamesfest was meh at most, but they did do a couple of commendable things. For one, mostly everything shown had at least a little bit of gameplay. They gave indie games a lot more love this year, announced a couple play tests coming up, but most importantly to me, most of the games shown were at maximum a year out. This means that no matter what you saw, you knew it was coming sometime soon. Announcement-wise, they did okay with the game selection. It was about 50 presentations in total, with showcases from new gaming studios like Blumhouse, who are predominantly known for their horror films, jumping into the gaming space, and then also an indie fund started by Inner Sloth called Outer Sloth, showing off games that they help bring to life. In this video, though, I'm going to lay out my top 10 announcements from this showcase, explain my choices, and give the showcase as a whole a review. Here are my top 10 announcements from that event. At number 10, we got Pal World's Sakurajima update. This update is going to be crammed with new content. We got a new island, which means new habitats, new PAL types, new PALs in general. Game Pass folks can finally have their dedicated servers, and the only thing missing now is crossplay. New buildings, a higher level cap to grind to, new subspecies of different PALs. So basically the PALs that are already in the game, but maybe you could have like a grass type Jormuntide or night type Pin King. I'm not saying these are in the game, I'm just saying these are examples. New raids, a new stronghold where you can have large scale battles with NPCs for resources, PvP arenas, a new boss and a new faction, and on top of all that, it's free. If not anything, you got to respect the team's dedication to the game. At number 9, we got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I found myself more and more engulfed in medieval and fantasy style games recently, and this really caught my eye. Combat looks engaging and the cutscenes are well shot, and I'm just a sucker for a good story, so hopefully that's what this is. At number 8, we got Cuff Bus. Now this is made by the same person that made Choo Choo Charles. Basically looks like a prison break game with multiple ways to escape. This can hold up to 20 players apparently, and with this many people in the lobby, I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of working with and against each other to get the job done. It looks hella fun, but the only downside and the kind of funny thing is that the creator was just like, come in 2025, I think, at least. We'll see. I love an honest expectation. At number 7, we got No More Room in Hell 2. This is an 8-person co-op game where each time you load into the map, you have to scavenge for resources, weapons, and equipment as you work your way to the center of a zombie-infested area. What makes this game unique is that basically this is co-op with consequences, because every time you load up the game, you put that character at risk of dying permanently. This is going to take a lot of coordination because you're going to start by yourself and you have to locate your buddies that you can load up the game with, all while the game gets harder as you progress through the level. At number 6, we got Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. When I saw this announcement, the first thing that popped for me was the environment and the graphics. I haven't played any of the previous Warhammer 40k games, but just from watching, I kind of got the Gears of War vibe from this. Cut me some slack because I've been a lifelong PlayStation gamer, but regardless, this looks like a lot of mindless fun. My only concern with this is that it kind of seems like it could get repetitive, mowing down waves and waves of enemies. It can be fun, but with no engaging boss battles or anything to shake up the gameplay, it could get really tiring. I haven't seen too much of it, so maybe there's enough story to make up for it, but only time will tell. Kicking off the top 5, we got The First Descendant. Now, The First Descendant finds itself in a special position because the cutscenes look good, and I played a little bit of the beta. The game was fine, didn't really do anything that Destiny didn't already do, but the big thing with Destiny is that Bungie has been pretty open about saying that Marathon is going to be a part of their 10-year plan going forward. That and revenue was down by 45% for Bungie last year, and they also laid off 8% of their staff. Now, the stipulation with Sony's acquisition of Bungie was that they could remain independent if they could meet their financial goals, which they haven't. So I'm wondering if Sony's going to decide to take over and have them focus on Marathon, which is rumored to be a PvP hero extraction shooter, nothing like Destiny at all. I feel like Destiny fans are going to have that itch and could possibly find that scratch with The First Descendant, but this kind of depends on the performance of the Final Shape DLC, which so far seems to be mostly positive, but only time will tell if it's actually profitable enough to keep it going. At number 4, we got the Alan Wake 2 DLC, Night Springs. Now, Alan Wake 2 is already a fire-ass game, top to bottom, but this DLC just gave me 3 more reasons to dive back into that horror game. Being able to play as Rose, Breaker, and even Jesse Faden, the main protagonist from Control. Now, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing their name. I haven't really played Control, but at this point, I definitely need to. At number 3, of course, we got Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, we've kind of seen this a little bit before earlier in the state of play. Game still looks good, and even stacked up against these games, I'm still more hype about this than most of what was announced. But I think the big seller for me for this game is the cross-play multiplayer aspect of it all. Really can't wait to hop into this with the homies. Number 2, these are going to be some obvious picks, but we got Black Myth Wukong. I mean, do I really need to say anything? We've already seen plenty of gameplay. I'm just ready for this game to drop at this point. And at number 1, of course, we have Phantom Blade Zero. This game looks fire in just about every way. The parry system, the combat, graphics look good as well. The movement, The cinematics. Plus, this is the second Summer Games Fest that this has been shown at. And this is the second Summer Games Fest where this was probably the most interesting thing that I saw. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna give this year's Summer Games Fest showcase about a 6.5 out of 10. It's a lot of indie games, a lot of interesting and unique games that were shown, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What does your top 10 look like? What are you most excited about? And what do you think they can improve on next year?